Hello, beautiful people. As always, it's a pleasure to welcome you to my YouTube channel, Grow Healing, and share some of my medical herbs knowledge with you. So, after 2 weeks of hiking in my home country, the Austrian Alps, I would like to introduce you to some of the first medical plants you can find right after the snow melts. I found these plants I introduced to you on my hikes between 700 and 1200 meters above sea level, and some of them they were still surrounded by snow. So as always, my advice before you go picking plants, just think about a few things, like only pick the amount of plants that you really need. Leave always some plants for bees, other insects or animals. And always try to find places that are free from pesticides and where dogs don't mark their territory, of course. So have a lot of fun with these 5 plants I'm introducing to you. So the first plant I'm describing here is butterbur. It can be found on the edges of little streams and ponds, and as a German name part Bach already suggests, it likes to grow in the water. Bach is a little stream or a brook. The German word pestwoods is a combination of the word plague and root, which explains already the use of this plant. In times of the plague, this herb was used to help heal the ulcers, and an infusion of the tea or fresh leaves helps to heal wounds. For example, you can apply the leaves when you go hiking and you get blisters on your feet, or if you burn your skin, and it's also applied on sprains and dislocations. Butterbur has also been used as an ingredient in fresh leaf poultices to treat skin ulcers and even lymphatic gland cancer. I personally do not recommend using this plant internally, as it may contain substances that are harmful to the liver, and pregnant and breastfeeding women should refrain from using the plant altogether. And here you see the white butterbur. This is a variation of the butterbur. And the leaves of these 2 varieties grow really huge during the summer with a diameter of up to 60 centimeters. And I remember as children we used to make sun hats from them. So the leaves of the white butterbur can be used just in the same way as those of the butterbur. So this little fluffy yellow flower is called coltsfoot, and it is very similar to butterbur in its healing properties. The leaves are used externally, fresh or as a tea, to treat ulcers, burns, erysipelas, and abscesses. The dried leaves have been an important remedy for bronchitis, dry cough, and even pulmonary tuberculosis for decades, and were long used as an ingredient in many cough syrups. I don't know why it's not used anymore in pharmaceutical products, but a lot of people in Austria still collect this herb to use it as a remedy. And it is also an expectorant and anti-inflammatory effect. You can use the leaves also as an incense, and this incense has a very positive effect on asthma attacks due to the high salpeter content. The salpeter salts in the smoke moisturize the mucous membranes in the mouth and in the throat, and so they help to relax. The flowers are collected as soon as they are open, and the leaves they grow a bit after the flowers are gone, so they have to be harvested a few weeks after the coltsfoot is in full bloom. If you collect the flowers, you must dry them really quickly, otherwise they will form seeds and can no longer be used. So the coltsfoot is also one of the best bee foods in spring, so I prefer to wait a bit and collect the leaves and leave the flowers to the bees. So the leaves of the coltsfoot looks very similar to those of butterbur, only it's much smaller, and they have a dark edge on the leaves. And the underside is velvety, hairy, and can be perfectly used as natural toilet paper when you are in the forests. So the next herb is the watercress. It is really easy to recognize by its mustard-like smell and taste. It tastes really hot and spicy, as it contains mustard oil glycosides, like all the plants in this family. The cress, for me, is a little spring miracle and contains a huge variety of vitamins, so you can fill up all your depots in the body with vitamins. And it has an antibacterial and blood purifying and diuretic effect. It aids digestion and helps with inflammation in the mouth. For me, this is like a health bump that is just right after a cold and dark winter where you have a lack of vitamins. Oh, and by the way, this watercress is also growing here in Portugal. Now you might know this little beauty. It's a violet. I already found the first violets in sunny places, sheltered from the wind. And the difference between the half-dark violets and the pale wood violets is really easy to recognize. The half-dark violet can be recognized by its light-colored flowers, and the spur on the back is white. And the pale wood violets are a bit darker, and the spur on the back is also purple, the same color as the flower in the front. So you can use both violets medically. The whole plant is collected at flowering time and dried. The tea helps with bronchitis, with stuck mucus in the lungs, and whooping cough. And as a wash, the tea helps with skin rashes, and if you make a vinegar extract, it is used as a poultice for gout and rheumatism. The scent of violets has a calming effect, and Dr. Kneip recommended its use especially in pediatrics as a gentle remedy for anxieties and nervous overstimulation in children. Now here comes a really nice plant, a tasty one. It's common wood sorrel. Even so the leaves remind of clover leaves, this plant is not related to clover. It is an excellent refreshment in long hikes because of its lemon-like taste. And in the past, the plant was used as a treatment for scurvy, as it contains a lot of vitamin C. But if you have kidney problems, you should be a bit careful, because eating too many plants which contain oxalic acid, such as rhubarb or spinach or chard, can damage your kidneys. A little trick is, if you have vegetables that contain oxalic acid, you can just boil them in water and put water away, because the oxalic acid is easily soluble in water. But of course, if you just eat a few leaves of the wood sorrel, it won't do you any harm. And it has a very refreshing effect, especially when you go hiking on hot summer days. The flowers have a slightly sweet flavor, but before you eat the flowers, please make sure that they are not those of the wood anemone. These two plants flower at the same time and often in the same place. And you recognize the wood anemone. It has feathery leaves, and so you can really distinguish the two plants by the leaves. Just in case you actually accidentally eat the flower of the anemone, you will immediately recognize it by the disgusting taste. And it could eventually cause itching and reddening of the oral mucosa. Here comes one of my favorite plants from the Alps. It's lady's mantle. The Latin name Alchemilla indicates that the plant was highly valued by the alchemists in the Middle Ages. The drop that can be found in the center of the leaf in the morning was called the water of heavens and was much sought after. It is said that this water was essential in the production of the philosopher's stone. So this celestial water is produced when the plant exudes water from the edges of its leaves in the morning, and this water flows together at the base of the leaf. The plant is very easily recognizable by its mantle-like leaves, which are delicately hairy on the underside, and the flowers are very small and greenish and have a sweet smell. So you collect the leaves after the drop has dried, and the conventional medicine considers this plant to be largely ineffective apart from gastrointestinal complaints, and it has not really been researched. However, the lady's mantle has been used as a household remedy since the Germanic times for all kinds of female complaints. During menopause, with womb pain, regulation of milk flow and menstruation. It was also used to ease the labor during birth and to stop bleeding after childbirth. And now the last plant of today is cowslip. The German name Schlüsselblume means key flower and describes perfectly the shape of this plant. This flower was associated with the goddess Freya, who could unlock people's hearts with her golden key to let sunshine and joy enter the hearts. So this flower has a brightening effect on the mind and soul, purifies the blood, and has a diuretic effect. So this diuretic effect relieves the circulatory system, especially in the elderly, and also helps to eliminate bladder stones. The tea is also used to treat chronic bronchitis, headaches, and migraines. So when I went to the place where I used to help my mom collect cowslip when I was a child, I was kind of shocked. Because I remember the fields below this impressive castle being yellow in spring from thousands of cowslips, and the air was humming from all kinds of insects, and now nothing. Just one flower here and there. And this is something I observe for quite a while now. Every time I come back to visit Austria, the beautiful flowers, the medical herbs, and insects slowly disappear more and more from the valleys. So I ask everybody who is watching this video, create a little wild area in your garden, wherever you are on this planet, as a shelter for flowers, herbs, insects, and other animals. Just a little oasis where you don't cut and weed and interfere. And I really appreciate that and thank you in the name of nature for this. And I hope you enjoyed my little excursion into the world of the Austrian Alps. And see you next time with the next video about some Portuguese plants I will use and show you how to make an effective and delicious cough syrup. Until then, I wish you all the best.